101.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm the host of the shows. I'm the host of what I was today on October 28th, 2021. Kenny Horn. Today we've got a great show in store. Our top stories include a new option on passports and the wow, words are hard today. Montclair State students winning an award. What for? We're going to find out later on. And a giant eagle hour unseen for 150 years. What about it? Stay tuned and find out. Before we get into all that and more, I'm going to introduce the rest of the team, and we are going to do our newscast for today. We have Ben Petruk, who's shortly on his way. We have our music segment host, Laura Zaccardi. We have Madi Zuniga, who is our newscaster, and our sportscaster for the first time ever, Tanner Price. Good introduction, Tanner. We're going to move on to our newscast. So, Madi, please take it away.
In national news, the U.S. State Department has issued the first passport to include people who identify as non-binary, intersex, or non-conforming by putting the gender marker X. The department will offer this option once they finish updating their forms and systems by early 2022. The department will update the public when the gender X marker can be available to applicants through their website. More on this story later. International news: Europe is sticking with COVID passes as the winter season draws near. Countries like Scotland are requiring vaccine passports, while other countries like Italy and Austria are requiring COVID passes in the workplace. In the Netherlands, they require individuals above the age of 13 to COVID entry passes to enter public places like bars, restaurants, and city cafes. Denmark was the first in Europe to adapt passes, but now downgraded COVID-19 to a socially critical disease. Places like England don't require passes. In state news, a driver is seriously hurt on Wednesday when he was thrown from his vehicle after crashing into a utility pole. The 58-year-old man was flown to the hospital around 3:20 p.m. after the crash on State Highway 54 in Buena Vista, Atlantic County. His vehicle went off the road, hitting the pole and a tree. Troopers are investigating the cause of the crash. In local news, 2 men from Passaic County admitted to laundering millions of dollars on Monday. They forwarded millions in drug money to overseas bank accounts. 31-year-old Erickson Chico Alamente of Passaic and 24-year-old Jordano Abreu Diaz of Clifton pled guilty to aiding and abetting in illegal money transmitting in U.S. District Court. The weather. Today's weather is clear with a high of 60 and a low of 45, a humidity level of 72%. The air quality is excellent with a level of 19.
Thank you, Madi, for the newscast. I like it when I have a newscaster on. I can see over time that they're getting steadily better at it. And I can see that.
Are we back to grading everyone's newscast?
I do it every time.
We're so judgmental, man.
I don't know what else to say, so I just always grade them.
Happy Thursday morning, by the way, everybody. I know Kenny told you all happy Thursday, but I just want to say happy Thursday, Laura. See, Kenny just takes all the superstardom to himself. I just want to say happy Thursday, everybody. I hope it's going well. You got a beautiful newscast from Madi. And now you're going to get an absolutely tremendous sportscast from, I already forgot. I'm so sorry.
Tanner.
Never mind.
That's why I'm the boss.
The Astros defeated the Braves by a final of 7-2 to even the World Series at one apiece. Jose Altuve with 2 hits, including a home run. The teams will head to Atlanta for Game 3 on Friday, where Luis Garcia will start for Houston and Ian Anderson will take the bump for Atlanta. A possible NFC Championship preview takes place tonight in Glendale as Kyler Murray and the 7-0 Arizona Cardinals take on Aaron Rodgers and the 6-1 Green Bay Packers. The Cardinals learning yesterday that defensive end J.J. Watt will undergo potentially season-ending shoulder surgery. Mark Ingram is back in New Orleans after a trade with the Texans. The expected return is late-round picks. The Nets have not started off the way they expected. Through 5 games, they are 2-3 after a 106-93 loss to the Miami Heat. The Nets led by 2 at half, but the Heat stepped up their game and secured the win in Brooklyn. The Knicks, the new hot ticket in town, travel to Chi-Town to take on the Bulls. The game starts at 8 Eastern. In hockey, the Flyers gave the Oilers their first loss of the season, defeating them by a score of 5-3. Cam Atkinson with 2 goals in the game, including the game-winning goal, 4 minutes and 18 seconds into the third period. The Montclair State men's soccer team was defeated 3-2 in double overtime by Rutgers Newark. It was a very back and forth game with a lot of physical contact and penalties. The women's soccer team won 1-0 at Rutgers Newark.
Thank you. Ben, as a former sportscaster, what's your grade of Tanner?
Like to say, I thoroughly enjoyed his take. I thought it was very nice, and I thought he said it well. My mic is falling. I thought he said it with
You
some
have a bad mic.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You choose to go there. Not today,
But you
but
like
you
that
always
spot
I
do.
didn't
you can
choose to
you
go
can
here.
stretch and
I was
relax.
last here. That's
Well, usually.
that's the difference.
At least you
No,
can
but-
relax. I know.
What?
Remember last week you said you wanted to stretch your legs.
Well, that
This week,
seems
can
out
you?
the window. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh,
that seems-
that looks a little rough.
it's
My
out the
bad.
window. But I will say, wait. Okay, we're good. But yeah, I felt like he said it pretty well. I felt like he was.
I thought it was a quality one.
Yeah, he did a very good job.
One of the best first casts I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, as the other sportscasters, right in the room, man.
I said one of. I didn't say the best.
Jeez, he's something else, guys. What can I say?
You have to insult them in front of their face because that way they're scared of you and they don't ask you questions.
Absolutely.
We're gonna move on to our first story. That being said,
Yeah, way to sequence that, man.
yeah, I try.
All right, you got this one, my guy.
No, I don't. The world just blew up on me right now.
Yes, I want to say this man prides himself on what he does. He says he's the most mature man. He likes to compliment about how he just has everything going well. And the first thing he
I've
does
never done
today is it all falls flat on him. I gotta say, there's very rare moments where Kenny gets humbled. But this is a very good listen, we're very hard to humble. And I'm glad when I get to see it happen to you. 'Cause you're smiling like you're smiling like nothing's wrong in the world when it happens to me. So yeah, this is a good moment right now. So by the way, quick thing. We have the vaccine has been extremely popular recently. Well, it's been always popular for the longest period of time. And we've heard a bunch of different things about it. But New Jersey orders 205,000 pediatric COVID vaccine doses in anticipation for kids 5 through 11 being eligible. New Jersey has ordered 205,000 doses of the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 in anticipation for the federal officials giving approval for its use as soon as next week, state officials said Wednesday. Governor Phil Murphy added he has no plans to require school kids in the Garden State to be vaccinated against the virus. State Health Commissioner Judith Pershilly said that the state Pershichelli. I'm so sorry, Judith. Said the
That's my grandmother's name.
Okay. Said the state will be ready to begin doling out the vaccines the next day after they're approved, and doses will be available throughout the state, including some in-school vaccine clinics.
Thank you, Ben. So we are. Did I just go back through puberty right there?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say, we have forgotten how to speak today.
Yeah. So I'm curious about something. The anticipation of kids 5 to 11 being eligible for a vaccine. This is something that our general manager was talking about yesterday, and she was saying how her daughter is just a couple months away from turning 12, but she's still receiving a dose if she does end up getting the vaccine soon enough. And she's receiving a dose that is a third of the strength, assuming it gets approved for 5 to 11 to happen. I'm curious what that line is. At what point does it obviously becomes at 12 years old, but what about 11 days and 364, 11 years, 364 days old? Right?
Is that important? Those few days.
It is. Well, that's my question. How important is that? Because if you're is that not giving you enough antibodies where you could be safe? Maybe it has to be on a exponential kind of curve.
Yeah, that's true, because kids probably can't handle the full dose that adults get.
Exactly. But at 12 years old, which is what they're approved to now, they can. So why at 11 years and 364 days old can they have a third of it?
That's true. Meanwhile, when they turn 12, they can get that full dose.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. That's something that they're going to have to keep in mind with these over 200,000 doses that have come in. We're going to move on to our next story. The United States has issued its first ever passport with the X gender marker. Marty told us about this before, but we've got some more for you. This marks a milestone in the recognition of the rights of people who do not identify as male or female, and it expects to be able to offer the option to more people, even more next year. The State Department said on Wednesday that they did not identify the passport recipient of the first person to get it, and the person came out themselves to talk about it. Dana Zim, an intersex activist from Fort Collins, Colorado. They told the Associated Press that they prefer gender-neutral pronoun and has been in a legal battle with the State Department to obtain a passport that did not require Zim to lie about their gender by picking either male or female. While Zim, 63 years old, said it was thrilling to finally get the passport, the goal was to help the next generation of intersex people win recognition as full citizens with rights rather than travel the globe. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely important progress and awareness for people that don't identify as male or female, and them having that representation on a passport. I guess that feels really important to them.
Yeah, the department now allows applicants to self-select their gender as male or female, no longer requiring them to provide medical certification. We can't speak today. Medical certification if their gender does not match the listed on their other identification documents. How about that? That is
huge.
Yeah.
What other official
like
documents? Sorry, what was that, Marty?
I was saying that it feels like it's a big step because it goes from male, female, and then just being other. Like, imagine how those individuals feel always having to put other or forced to put a gender that they don't identify as.
Yeah, that and other, I feel like has a lot of negative connotation to it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What other government documents, if any, I'm asking this around to you all, what other government documents have a option for non-binary? Any? This is the first of its kind?
We're gonna need a minute.
Yeah, I just have passports, and that was
Yeah,
the news for today.
so yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So wait, how I have a question.
What's your question, Ben?
So what if, can you like on your birth certificate be non-binary, or do they?
That's a great question.
I how do you
That is a great
know?
question.
That has to do with self
Like you don't, like the person doesn't really know yet.
Well, that's the thing that a lot of parents are, I don't know if I want to say a lot, but some parents are doing now is they're raising their child as neither gender and letting them decide for themselves.
Mhm.
I don't know what that would mean for the birth certificate, but
Well,
as for like the raising of the child, many people are letting it choose themselves and doing it with
There's
winning no way.
well, I think for the differences for biological gender and then your gender identity, so I feel like that would be something to separate.
That's sex.
Yeah, exactly. So that's different from gender identity.
There's certain states on here that the parents can or it's anyone can legally opt for a third gender category or an X marker, and it's not every state, but it's certain ones. So
Oh. Is Jersey on the list?
yes.
Cool.
Go us. We're gonna move
Yeah.
on to a quick break. This PSA has to do with car safety. Please stay tuned for more stories. Our next story, you're gonna love it. It is about Montclair State students and what they have done to win an award. Did you just say
It's a caw. Yeah, like a bird.
last night? Lara texted me something about some story and gave a little pun. We went back and forth like 7 puns.
Yeah.
Can I just say you both are nerds?
I'm a huge nerd.
Oh yeah,
You guys
me too.
are both dorks. Anyway,
I'm the biggest
Montclair.
nerd.
Speaking about Montclair State students, the Montclair State students win award for Motown curriculum. Hold on. 4 School of Communications and Media students at Montclair State University. They won a 2021 Jersey Award for their work on a Motown curriculum guide for the Motown Museum in Detroit. The students received the award at the NJ Ad Club's 53rd Annual Jersey Award on September 29th. I hope you all tuned in. It's the Oscars for them. The Motown curriculum guide will soon be product tested in middle school music classes, and it was created last spring by Gabby Botnick, Joanna Zaccardi, and all whom have recently graduated, and Christina Giordano, who is in her last semester. Joanna, wait, is that your sister?
Different spelling.
I'm an only child, and that's
We're
You're an only child. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Awful.
It looks similar to your last name, so I was like,
it is.
no way.
I know when I heard it, I said,
Yeah.
I don't think I know.
I was like,
her.
you're like long lost sister. You're
or cousin somewhere.
the guide.
Yeah.
The guide focuses on the music and artists of the legendary record label, racial and social justice issues of the period, and business methods of Motown founder Berry Gordy. It will eventually be available to educators around the country from the Motown Museum's website. This was all according to the Montclair Local, and I think I heard about this. I think I heard of this recently, like not like I think I heard that like 2 weeks ago. I thought this was happening or something, like there was some about this award, and I'm really upset that it wasn't brought up a lot throughout the School of Comm. It's a pretty prestigious award.
Yeah,
and
deserves
I
some
think it's a- serious word.
recognition.
Yeah, I haven't really heard about it. Like,
I haven't either until now.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we won this. Do we win that many awards? That we just,
Right? I was just
like,
thinking
whatever.
the same thing.
Like,
Oh, awards, no.
yeah, it's I think this is one of those. This is a very, very huge milestone for especially the students, basically, because this is one of those things that you're going to bring to the table when you start looking for jobs.
This
and
is a resume builder.
this that's all you
This
need.
is the resume.
This is the resume. Just show
Send
them a
them the
picture.
article.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
send them the article. You win.
Just
It's like,
one
oh, you need
bullet
my
point.
resume? Here's the link.
LOL. I failed every class, but I did this. No, I'm joking. But this is one of those that it's absolutely incredible that they brought up so many important platforms here, and I think it's absolutely tremendous. And congratulations to all 3 of these students, or former students, or last semester students.
People
Alum.
involved.
Alum. You guys are all above
Whomever
us.
synonym that you want to
Yes,
use.
whatever you would like to use. Congratulations to Gabby, Joanna, and Christina.
Yes, that being said, we're gonna move on to our next story. This one is about paid family leave following as Biden's bill tempers rise. This story, the top Democrats signaled a deal is within reach on President Biden's big domestic bill, but momentum is fizzling and is tempering, flaring as a paid family leave proposal fell out and billionaires' tax appeal scrapped, mostly to satisfy a pivotal member of the 50-50 Senate. With his signature domestic initiative at stake, President Biden went to Capitol Hill on today morning, to urge Democrat lawmakers to bring talks on the social services and climate change bill, quote, over the finish line before he departs for global summits overseas. Still in the mix, you may ask, expanded healthcare programs, free pre-kindergarten, and some $500 billion bills to tackle climate change remain in what's now at least a $1.75 trillion package. How do you all feel about billionaire tax?
They have a lot of money anyway, so I mean,
They don't even notice.
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying.
You
It's
don't
just
even notice.
If
You don't
it
even
would
feel
help-
it.
Exactly.
if it would help other people.
Oh, go cry in your
Then-
yachts. Oh, boo hoo! You could still afford your yacht, but you can't have an extra Lamborghini. Oh,
Or a
quiet.
Tesla.
Or go to
Or you can't go to
Oh.
space.
Oh,
man,
Oh,
that's too
rats.
bad.
Anyway.
Oh, your life is just terrible.
You're the only person I've ever
Ah.
met that unironically says rats.
It's fun.
Oh man,
But it would put so much less stress on the middle class if they were taxed.
it's
I feel like as a society, we need to be more accommodating of one another. And
Yeah.
this is a bill that is seeking to do that. And that's just on the areas of healthcare and free pre-kindergarten, which is pre-K. We had Vice President Harris here a couple weeks ago to talk about issues like that. And also with this billionaire tax, that's another aspect of an area that we can be more accommodating towards one another. But in addition to that, climate change, thank God something's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we take action because everything that we've known could not be there one day when we get older, and it's pretty terrifying to think about.
Mhm.
So I feel like if we take the action now, it's going to really help put the best foot forward for our future.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where our actions have become at a turning point where we are at a point in history where we are basically deciding if we are going to live as a planet or die as a planet. We don't have much time. We have an article coming up later about this, and it's about scarily how little time we do have coming up.
Mhm.
And that's on the pace that we're currently at. I spoke to somebody yesterday about this, and when we were talking, they think that we're at that point. They're an expert in this. They think we're at that point that we can turn back, but we need to. But to do that, we need systematic change, which is clearly being promoted by President Biden right here.
Comes down to everyone just wants to do their own thing, and everyone wants to live their own life, and they don't really care about other people and caring about other people's lives. And you're just asking a bunch of people on this planet to care about something that isn't themselves. That is a tall order.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was talking about this with Yaz Yilmaz, our assistant digital marketing director, yesterday. Not necessarily about this, but we were talking about how in America, we are raised in a very selfish fashion. At least that's the conclusion that we both came to. In that we very rarely, and this also relates to the issue of masks, look out for people other than ourselves. I mentioned when masks were first becoming a thing, back when COVID all started, that in Japan, because I used to go to Rutgers, they have many international students, many Japanese ones and Chinese ones. And in Japan and China, what they had already been done for a very long time is they wear masks in a public health, even if they just think they're sick and nobody else is, not even a pandemic, they just think they're sick. So they wear a mask to keep other people safe. That is the textbook example of selflessness and having consideration for other people. Here in America, we see many people, a lot of big groups of people arguing that we shouldn't have to do things like that. It's the example of how, as a society, we are raised with a more centric view of ourselves.
Yeah.
100%. There's not much to say on
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah,
just
man.
like,
You just
yeah.
kind of said it all. So
Well, okay, then we're gonna go to a break. Here's focus feature. Actually, no, not yet. This semester, at Montclair
LOL, you thought
State- this semester at
Had
Montclair
me in the
State,
first half, not gonna lie.
this semester at Montclair State, we are doing a focus project as we do every single semester. This semester is focus disruption. This feature is from last semester. It's about racial injustice, but coming out focus disruption within the next few weeks. It will be a fantastic show. Let's circle back to our last focus real quick though.
That's it.
I want to mention for the Mariana Trench thing, it's too pressurized to send electronics.
how do we not have something that can deal with that? We
That's
send
true.
things to space.
We should send Jeff Bezos
So what you're saying
to the
is
ocean.
space is safer than the Mariana Trench?
I'm not saying
I'm sorry, some salt water with some pressure combining it is more safe than literally you can't survive like 17 seconds in space.
That's
You also probably
true.
can't survive 17 seconds down the Mariana Trench that far, but still, you get my point. Like we should be able to, we literally solved so many ridiculous things in our lifetime alone, and we've been on this planet for 20 years, Kenny. How can they not bring a piece of metal with a camera down the Mariana Trench? I'm just saying, it doesn't look like it's that difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Elon Musk went to space, right? Whatever. But Jeff Bezos also went to space. So why doesn't Jeff Bezos do some oceanography or some marine science? I would love to see
can
that.
that be like the new rage? Send billionaires down the Mariana Trench. Like, and then let's start making it. Everyone, I got a TikTok trend for positive change. Send billionaires down the Mariana
Send
Trench.
Bezos to
Do
Trench.
do the I don't know.
Get Bezos to make Bezos swim. Hashtag make Bezos
Yeah,
swim.
the dance to the new Adele album.
Oh yeah.
Like do your dance to the Adele album, and then boom.
We found the
Billionaires down the
idea.
Mariana
Of,
Trench.
we found the ID of the Zodiac killer, but we can't
I don't
send
believe
people
that.
down water.
We
I think that
literally
one's wrong.
have created fundamental change that people couldn't fathom
Mhm.
in the last 5 years. We can't send a piece of metal down a trench. We can't do it. It's impossible. We once believed the world was flat and went out of the world
And it was
to take a picture
round.
of it, but we can't go down a steep gap in water. Oh no. Like I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like that much of a hill to climb. I think we're just scared that there's an evil snake mountain
Or a
in the
meg
bottom.
or a megalodon.
Yeah, like there's a megalodon or a snake mountain type
Godzilla.
He-Man
thing
thing
about-
that has the fish overlords. They'll take over.
Or a
The
giant
thing about the
anglerfish.
ocean being that deep, at that point, the animals are so. The best word to say is just deformed. They're so deformed about what they look like. Have you seen what deep ocean animals look like?
Oh my
they're
God.
terrifying.
They are,
Exactly.
They're
Imagine-
terrifying.
Imagine what they are in the Mariana Trench.
Oh my goodness, they're terrifying.
Maybe
I
they
wanna
have
s-
seen it.
Oh,
and
I don't like that at
disgusting.
all.
Oh, so they're scaredy cats?
Maybe they've seen it and they're.
Are you
just too
telling me that a
disgusting.
bunch of scientists are like,
Why?
no, it's too scary? Then do it on Halloween. I don't care. Like,
That's true. Why do they look like that?
I know
What?
they're terrifying.
it's something with
I
like the,
don't
they,
like
they,
this.
Clara,
They
which
don't
one
see
are you looking
light.
at? Share your screen.
all of them.
They like-
I'll share my screen.
They like don't see light, so that's why they're like that. I think
I
I'm
know
not allowed to
the
screen
deep,
share.
the
Yes, you
anglerfish
are.
is
I
the
gave her
most
permission.
terrifying.
it's
Anglerfish.
it's-
Oh,
it scared
they're
me.
terrifying.
It scared me watching Finding Nemo. I don't know how I
I'm
would be
viewing
if
your
I saw that
screen.
in real life.
Mega mouse sharks are also terrifying looking. Oh, they're just all ugly.
They're so.
They look like they
this
all
is the
look
one.
like they
This was
need
the one in
skin treatment.
particular.
They need.
I love the
gill treatment,
blobfish
I'm
on the
saying.
side.
Me too. I love the blobfish.
Blobfish or elite?
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, I know. It's so terrifying. And here's my last thing on animals as Ben's thoughts.
This
Wait,
is
do you
What?
need me to roll it?
No. What on earth do people name animals? I'm
That's
just saying.
true.
What? All right. Do me a favor. Can someone look up a red panda?
You got it.
Can someone look up a red panda? Put it,
Probably.
share it on the screen. And if you guys are at home, Google
Okay.
red panda. If you're driving, please don't. But I'm gonna give you the image in a second.
All right.
You
I
see a
have it.
red panda.
Very cute.
Look at a nice image. Adorable animal.
Yes.
There's two big discrepancies with it. One, that's not red. That's orange. What are you
Yeah.
doing? It's
You just-
orange.
you just
Maybe
need
he
to
It's
think
an
of something.
orange animal. And
Maybe he was
also, it's
colorblind.
not a panda. It looks like a ferret. Like, what are you
Ferret?
doing? It looks like a ferret with like a cute face. That's literally what it is.
Well,
Like, what are
Okay,
you
I have-
doing?
Maybe he was.
It looks like a fancy raccoon.
Are you-
yes.
What?
Maddie said fancy raccoon.
Yeah,
Fancy trash.
but that's not a
pandas.
panda. My point is, why is it called a? All right, and that like brings me to the other thing. Like, who looked at a frog and a toad and went, "Oh, they're different"? Like,
Well, they
who,
are.
who did that? Who looked at a
Create-
crocodile and alligator and said, "Bro, I found two different species."
What if
They
it was
didn't
just the
look at
guy
it.
Well,
I
it's
just
like
saw
turtle
that
and tortoise, like
molecularly.
but there's a
Like a turtle
difference.
and tortoise. They look, honestly, a turtle and tortoise, a comparison with a frog and a toad. Those both look like one just has worse, like needs some like, needs some like cream.
On the
You know?
molecular
Cream.
level is where they find out.
What?
On the molecular level is where they find out.
Quiet
Because they may
nerd.
look the same.
Anyway,
Maybe it was just
quiet
the guy.
nerd. Anyway,
Maybe it was the guy who made the book, Frog and Toad. He was like, I need two different. I need two different.
Oh,
animals."
you're
Yes.
telling me this is an intergovernmental conspiracy
No,
that
that's probably science.
that you're quiet, Kenny. So you're saying is this
Be
is a
quiet, Dad.
conspiracy?
It could be.
Oh,
That's just my-
just
that's
to
just-
sell books about frogs and toads.
We must eat
We
more.
solved it. That's the reason that there's two different species. The book Frog and Toad. Name one time someone called them different before the book. Name it, Kenny. Name it. Science. Name it, Kenny.
Never
You
even heard of this
scientist.
book.
By the
You
way,
never heard of frog and
you
toad?
never heard of the
What? Oh my
Did
god.
you not go to like school when you were like 6?
bro? Did you?
Never.
The book fair?
You and Patrick Starr living under rocks.
Kenny had no
Unbelievable.
childhood.
Can I just say?
I'm sorry,
First of all, I
Kenneth.
just want to say it is actually science. Like the answer is actually science, but I'm
Oh,
having
thank
fun.
you. I see. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, see, not that delusional,
I know.
but I'm just saying, who looked at a crocodile and an alligator and said they're different?
Well, they are different.
I,
Their
Science.
snouts and their teeth are different.
yeah, the fourth tooth. Who
Yeah.
looked that inept into a crocodile and said, "Oh, the fourth tooth's different than
Well,
the
think
alligator."
about that. Crocodiles and alligators have been around this earth for how many years? A long time.
And no animal was like, "Yo, they're different."
Imagine the dinosaurs go, "Oh my god,
no
they're different."
caveman was looking at it like, "Yo, they different." And like, no, why? Fourth tooth. Like what? Look at fourth tooth. One sticks out, one doesn't. Who does that? All right, and that will conclude Ben's thoughts.
Thank you. You took me to exactly where I needed to be to move on with the script. Thank you, Ben.
I know.
I don't know if you did that on
definitely knew about
purpose, but it worked out very well. We're gonna move on to our music segment. Before we get to that, Lara, during this music segment, she's gonna be talking about REM. What's your song from REM? It's the end of the world as we know it.
In 1997, Bill Berry, drummer of the band REM, left the band after 17 years to become a farmer.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, in Manchester, England, back in the good old 2014, police claimed that an Oasis fan could have been responsible for breaking into an art gallery and stealing a picture of the band. A window was smashed at MASA UK. I guess you could say that fan broke the fourth wonder wall.
Get out.
I know that was a bad one.
We love a good pun.
They're very punny. Okay. Now with hot trending songs from Billboard, a lot of K-pop news today. Number 1 song goes to BTS with Permission to Dance, while number 2 goes to Blackpink K-pop star Lisa with songs Money and Lalisa, respectively.
Lisa, love me. Lisa, love me. Sorry.
Lisa's at number
Shout out to our
three.
station manager Kai Masiak, who does not stop playing that song.
I've never heard her play that song once.
Oh my goodness, all the time.
Moving
Continue.
on. Thank you. Luke Bryan helps a Tennessee woman change a flat tire on TikTok. Luke Bryan was spotted in Tennessee helping a woman replace her flat tire. The viral TikTok was posted by @CourtneyPotts and captioned, "When my tire blew in a small town in Tennessee, who stopped by to help? Luke Bryan. He deserves all the praise." While Bryan's song "What Makes You Country" played in the background. So will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I repeat, will the real Slim Shady please
Get
stand
out,
up?
Kenny.
No, Kenny.
No, Kenny. No.
I had to stand up.
Pop a squat, buddy.
So earlier this month, speculations of Eminem and Snoop Dogg recording a show together. According to Rolling Stone, apparently their beef has been settled. The two veteran rappers will be featured on Snoop's new album, which is set to release next January. Ice Cube, Too Short, and E40 will be
I'm
featured
sorry.
as well.
Did you say Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
I was
rapper.
hoping you did not catch
Yeah.
that, Kenny.
My favorite rapper in the band
Ice
was
Cube.
Ice what?
Cube.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
You ever
Ice
seen 21
Cube.
Jump Street with Ice Cube?
It's my favorite. Ice Cube. Words are tough in the morning.
Yeah. Actually, we have nothing nowhere to say, Kenny.
Along with the collab, Snoop and Eminem will perform alongside Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige in the Super Bowl halftime show on February 13th of 2022. Speaking of Dr. Dre, what did Dr. Dre said? Nothing, because according to Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre will be making a new solo music for popular video game franchise Grand Theft Auto. According to Rolling Stone, Dr. Dre hasn't released music since 2015's Compton, along with having his year in making the album Detox. A representative of Rockstar Games, GTA's publisher, has denied this statement, saying the company has not announced a new game to the series. That is all I have.
They will never come out with
She
GTA.
says that's all I
I
have.
know.
She spoke for 4 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Did you see they're making they remastered some of the old ones?
They did.
Yeah,
But
the
they just
first
gave
three.
it new graphics, but they didn't change how the characters looked. So it's really good graphics for the buildings, and the characters
Yeah.
don't look
I
good.
saw
Wow,
it.
such a beautiful scenery, and then just a pixel running
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
I saw it's on the Switch now. So any Switch players out there.
We will never
I
get
couldn't
to
see a
that.
Grand Theft Auto
Mhm.
game being available on a Nintendo platform.
That's what I said. That's what I thought when I saw it. It was just so weird.
You know the meme where they say respect because of Grand Theft Auto, where you complete a mission in Grand Theft Auto and it just says mission passed, respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
How good is that meme for just life? You ever
It
just
really
walk out
is.
of a thing and you just feel like you just earn that big the big music, the
Oh.
beat hitting like dun, 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 dun,
Then
dun,
you should
dun,
you should
and,
grade
like you walk.
newscasts
It's
like
just
that.
mission pass respect. I don't know. It's the most satisfying thing in
Yeah.
any of the Grand Theft Auto games. That moment, and I just gotta say, I wish we had that sign. So what Laura has an idea now. Like I wish we had
Me
that
too.
sign so like we could just keep throwing it at people every time they do something that gains everyone's respect.
I think you should start grading ADJ stuff like that.
if you get a sign that says mission passed, respect, you pass the DJ course. And I'll literally go to the music. That was San Andreas, right? That they did that in?
Yeah.
I'll just Google the San Andreas soundtrack.
Anyway, the story. Snoop Dogg, right? Snoop Dogg. First of all,
he exists.
when Lara told me about, because she had to run these stories by me last night.
Mhm.
First thing I said was, "Remember when Snoop Dogg was Snoop Lion? That sucked."
Yeah.
Yeah. Second thing I said was, "Oh, this is really interesting. I didn't know Snoop Dogg and Eminem had problems together."
I know.
You didn't know that, man. Eminem has beef with everybody.
Well, that's why I said. I said
Eminem has
that
beef with
last night.
WMSC. For
I said
some
that
reason.
exact thing.
Does
I
he?
said Eminem.
No,
I was gonna say, I'm like,
I said Eminem gets his feelings hurt very easily, and she said Eminem's a softie.
Aw.
well, glad to know we have beef with Eminem now.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Kenny.
He's
Yeah,
gonna,
Yes,
he's
man.
gonna-
I call you out,
His
Eminem.
new
Make a
song's
diss
gonna come
track
out in,
about
like,
me. Make me famous.
His
6
birthday
months.
actually passed.
I
It was
hate
this month.
WMC.
No,
That's his new song.
can I just go back though to say Luke Bryan helping a person with a
Right?
flat
When she
tire?
told me about that, I said Ben is gonna love
That just might be the most country way of being a celebrity.
I love
Can we
it.
just all just agree? Country celebrities are the nicest people in the business.
Except for when they're not.
Except
Yo, who is
Yeah.
mean?
The one that we can't play.
Exactly.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not mean?
He's not mean. He's a nice person. He's
Is he?
just insensitive.
Oh,
Good to know.
well, I take that back.
Yeah, like he made an insensitive like error, but like
Wesley
he's
has
a
a crush on
nice
that guy.
person most of the time. Like I think country stars are usually the nicest people.
They're
when it comes to
nicer than
celebrities.
the average.
And
star.
I thought about it, and then I got confirmed by people who have worked in the industry with them. They're the nicest people.
Garth Brooks seems like the nicest man alive.
Oh, Garth Brooks I'd marry Garth Brooks for no reason. Garth Brooks doesn't even have to love me. I'd just be like, can I marry you? Just for marrying's sake.
Well, I assumed so.
He'd say no.
Ben?
Go dance about it.
Well, it's not Luke Bryan. How would you react if you had a tire blowout, and I assume you know how to change one, and if
I'd be like,
and
oh no,
Luke Combs
grab the
came
dummy
out,
tire.
and Luke Combs came out and helped you, how would you react?
I'd be like, you're doing it all wrong, Luke.
I think you'd faint.
Why does everyone think I'd faint?
I don't think you'd faint. You'd only faint for Tom Brady.
Yes, there's only one person on earth I'd faint for, and if Tom Brady walked in the room, I probably wouldn't be able to contain my emotions. But yeah,
Speaking.
Oh,
Speaking.
No.
speaking.
Saying, here comes Tom Brady into the.
no.
That is not true.
Oh, if he walked in the
False.
room, I wouldn't be talking anymore. I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god. But no, if Luke Combs stopped, because Luke Combs is my favorite artist in the world. If he helped, like, what if like your celebrity like hero came in and helped you fix a tire? First of all, I'd be like, why are you talking to me?
Well, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd be like,
why'd you stop and help?
well, I would be
Right?
like, hey, Paul McCartney, why aren't you not in Liverpool?
Yeah. Also,
He
yeah.
was
Second,
like,
what are you doing in
2
New
year-
Jersey?
like not 7. In like 2018, there's just some random picture of Paul McCartney like in the town over from me. He was just like
Nice.
walking around.
Cool. What's the town?
Hard to believe, but people walk around.
Matashin.
You'd think after 75 years he'd learn how to walk.
Yeah, unbelievable. What is he doing?
Taking a morning.
Stop
stroll.
walking. Stop walking. Imagine this. That one
I'm
person.
walking here.
You imagine just like just like Paul McCartney walking.
Like,
down,
get out of
like,
my way, and then
Luke
turn around to Paul
Combs
McCartney.
or like Eminem walking down the street, and just some person honks their horn at them and goes, "I'm walking it." Oh, talk about humbling somebody.
Imagine being yelled at by one of the most famous musicians of all time.
No, imagine yelling at one of those famous.
I was just thinking about the other.
being like, I don't even care about your music. I'm walking it.
I'm walking.
Oh, that'd be funny. Talk about humbling.
Oh.
That's the new thing we've learned today. Instead of helping tires, we yell at celebrities now. Humble them. But no, that's absolutely tremendous what Luke Bryan did. I'm a very
Mhm.
he's the man.
Are any of you excited? I'm changing the topic completely. Are any of you excited about Snoop Dogg's new song?
He has a new song.
That's what the one story's about, Ben.
I'm joking.
I thought it was a new album.
I'm joking. I
It is.
was joking about the fact that I didn't know, but I'm just saying, it's not. How good could it possibly be?
Well, it has Eminem on it, which is one of like 2 rappers I like.
No, but hear me
That's
out.
true.
Once you're done and you're past your prime, now we just listen for nostalgia. We listen to it and then we go listen to the music we actually care about.
That's true. I give you that.
Fair.
It's
I'll
an
give you that.
excuse to like be like, oh, I listened to his new album as I listened to like 15 seconds of the new song, and then I just go and listen to like I'm like, oh, and I went straight back to recovery. Oh, whoops, looks like I'm back at the Eminem show. Like I'm just saying that I feel like unless you're like it's your like, for example, like if it's Luke Combs for me, or if it's like Megadeth for our general manager Annabella Poland. Like no matter what they drop, it's just gold.
I found Megadeth through a episode of the show Duck Dodgers. That's how I learned about them. They were on an episode.
What is?
I don't know what that is.
I forgot about that
You're gonna have to
show.
explain that more to me.
Yeah.
Duck. All right, but I gotta say, I think it's gonna be good. But I gotta say, the only one that I'm excited for to like see in a new song would probably be Ice Cube, because I just haven't heard him in so long.
Who's
You mean
Ice
Ice
Cube?
Cube?
Thank you.
Ice Cube. I can't wait to see him. I'm curious about is the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay. They're laughing.
Ice Cube is just hilarious. We're going to move on to a quick break. We'll be back at 8 o'clock here at 90.3 WMS Super Montclair. Here's a what?
You're a bully.
Yes,
Whatever.
I am.
I was gonna talk about the Super Bowl and whatever, man.
Wait, no. That's a bad word, Ben.
Oh, we're talking about the big game.
I already hit the thing.
Whatever.
Here's a
We really can't. That's so ridiculous. All right. Oh, Ben's thoughts next
you
week,
can do it when
man.
we get back.
That's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Okay, we'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Welcome back to WMSC 90.3 FM. That was "Won't Back Down" by Eminem and Pink. Yes, I played an Eminem song.
We can play that.
Wow.
Well, I didn't hear any bad words.
As of right now.
As he wasn't listening.
Listen, it's not my problem. It's Jared and Charlie's problem.
Oh, that's great.
I also would be yelled at for playing that, but that's fine. We're gonna move on to our second hour of the show, the much more fun hour, lighthearted news. We're gonna leave it off though with our newscast. Madi Zuniga, please take it away. I forgot your name was. I'm sorry.
Okay. In national news, the U.S. State Department has issued the first passport to include people who identify as non-binary, intersex, and gender non-conforming by putting the gender marker X. The department will offer this option when they finish updating their forms and systems by early 2022. The department will update the public when gender X marker can be available to applicants through their website. International news. Europe is sticking with COVID passes as the winter season draws near. Countries like Scotland are requiring vaccine passports, while other countries like Italy and Austria are requiring COVID passes in the workplace. In the Netherlands, there are individuals above the age of 13 to use COVID entry passes to enter public places like bars, restaurants, and city cafes. Denmark was the first in Europe to adapt passes, but now downgraded to COVID-19 to a non-socially critical disease. Places like England don't require passes. In St. a driver is seriously hurt on Wednesday when he was thrown from his vehicle after crashing into a utility pole. The 58-year-old man was flown into the hospital around 3:20 p.m. after a crash on the State Highway 54 in Buena Vista, Atlantic County. His vehicle went off the road, hitting the pole and a tree. Troopers are investigating the cause of the crash. In local news, 2 men from Passaic County admitted to laundering millions of dollars on Monday. They forwarded millions in drug money to overseas bank accounts. 31-year-old Erickson Check Alamente of Passaic and 24-year-old Jordano Abreu Diaz of Clifton pled guilty to aiding and abetting in illegal money transmitting in U.S. District Court. Weather. Today's weather is clear with a high of 60 and a low of 45. With a humidity level of 72%, the air quality is excellent with a level of 19.
Thank you, Madi, for the newscast. Tanner Price, our sportscaster, please take it away with the sportscast. Faster.
Yeah,
Ice
man.
Cube is getting angry.
Come on, we're burning daylight over here.
You're losing points.
Unbelievable.
The Astros defeated the Braves by a final score of 7-2 to even the World Series at one apiece. Jose Altuve had 2 hits, including a home run. The teams will head to Atlanta for Game 3 on Friday, where Luis Garcia will start for Houston and Ian Anderson for Atlanta. Possible NFC Championship preview takes place tonight in Arizona as Kyler Murray and the 7-0 Cardinals take on Aaron Rodgers and the 6-1 Green Bay Packers. Cardinals learning yesterday that defensive end J.J. Watt will undergo potentially season-ending shoulder surgery. Mark Ingram is back in New Orleans after a trade with the Texans. The expected return is late-round draft picks.
I have to say, I miss Mark Ingram, Saints Mark Ingram.
Me
Just
too.
the funniest. He is the most fun version of himself there.
The Nets have not started off the way they expected. Through 5 games, they're 2-3 after a 106-93 loss to the Heat. The Nets led by 2 at half, but the Heat stepped up their game to secure the win in Brooklyn. And have you seen that the Heat, through the games that they've played, they haven't allowed 100 points this season?
The Nets?
Really?
No, the Heat.
Well, the Heat defense. Well, they have Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
More than that. They're like the 3, they're like top 3 defenders at each of their positions. Like they're all crazy. Who else is on that roster? Like they're just a defensive juggernaut besides Duncan Robinson.
Yeah. I don't know basketball very well.
The Knicks are the new hot ticket in town as they travel
He
to
just
Chicago.
keeps going. He's like,
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
Oh, they have PJ Tucker. Oh my goodness, this team defense. Yeah, I hope they don't. Whatever. Continue.
The Knicks are the new hot ticket in town as they travel to Chicago to take on the Bulls. The game starts at 8:00 Eastern. In hockey, the Flyers gave the Oilers their first loss of the season, defeating them by a final score of 5-3. Cam Atkinson had 2 goals, including the game-winning goal, with 4 minutes and 18 seconds into the third period. The Montclair State men's soccer team was defeated 3-2 in double overtime by Rutgers Newark, and the women's soccer team won 1-0 at Rutgers Newark.
Thank you, Tanner, for the sportscast. We're going to move on to our first story of the second hour. This one is about Lori Loughlin. This story, Ben, please take it away.
Well, I'm still on the roster thing. Hold on, man.
All right, I can get there for you. then.
Hold on.
I can get there for you. You want me to get there?
Hold on, Lori Loughlin. I'm sorry. I was looking at stats. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But this is entertaining.
Those numbers, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I'm busy, man. The Lori Loughlin. Lori.
Loughlin.
I'm joking.
That's my mom's name.
I know. Lori Loughlin covered the tuition of 2 students following the college admissions scandal. According to Entertainment News, Lori Loughlin has privately arranged to put 2 students through 4 years of college and has paid their tuition and expenses totaling over $500,000, the source tells them. Lori also has continued her work with Project Angel Food. She's optimistic about her future and hopeful she can move forward. $500,000 for just 2 random people.
It's a lot of money.
Did you know
When
that?
did you turn British?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just happens.
Laura
Door.
always
Bye.
happens to be British.
and that's the
I
end of
always do.
Laura here at the Thursday edition.
Am I fired?
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
But anyway, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Do you imagine just just walking down the street, and then boom, no more paying for college?
And Lori Loughlin will come fix your tire.
Yeah, Lori Loughlin came, fixed my tire, paid my college, gave me a massage, single-handed cooked me dinner. Next thing you know, Lori Loughlin's doing my homework.
I wouldn't want Lori Loughlin to do any of that, but I'd want Aunt Becky to do it.
Yes, I agree.
I'd want a different Lori.
Rather John Stamos, actually.
But yeah, I think
My mom is a very nice lady.
I bet.
Mhm.
Does your mom make fun of you as well?
Yes. We make fun of each other.
I had a feeling. Does Lori Loughlin also make fun of you, Kenny?
Mm.
Are you one of the 2 students? Does Lori Loughlin pay for your college? Are
I
you
wish.
just flexing on us,
I
Kenny?
wish.
No, but congratulations to those 2 students. They probably actually did something like that, deserved it.
Well, I'm
Mhm.
also wondering to the point, like, do you think part of this is a publicity stunt?
I was just
Yeah.
I
thinking
think
that.
so.
Oh no, no
I
way.
think it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It's 100% a PR stunt.
100%. The not
Actually, I would
there's no
say
such thing as an unselfish good deed.
I was gonna say 85%.
85%
Yeah.
selfish.
Yeah. No, 85% PR stunt.
PR stuff.
Maybe she thought
No.
like, let me
but-
do this
Actually-
the
I'm
right
thinking
way this time.
100%.
No,
Yeah,
no, hear me out.
I was being generous.
The
giving her
paying for
85.
2 students, PR,
Yes.
Yes.
but the angel food is not.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
why
what
I
that
said
is. What is
85%.
angel food? Any of you know?
No.
It's just a food that serves food to people that are hungry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not. That's
Mm-mm.
not.
That's not
No.
PR, but for sure that the students paying for college. That's PR.
I find it very ironic.
Are you
Like rain
sure?
on-
He didn't
oh,
send
Don't
On
worry
your
about
wedding
that.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Lori Lapham paying for your college
yeah.
tuition.
It's like a free
Yeah.
ride that you just can't take.
Hmm.
Yeah, but but I don't. Do you imagine just like walking it? I already said it, but I can't fathom just someone being like, "Oh yeah, famous person just paid for your college." I'm like, well, something famous does pay for my college. I mean, the Domino's franchise, but I exchange it for my services.
Hmm.
But but I'm just saying it'd be nice if I didn't have to work for it.
If you order Domino's online, they don't deliver it here.
They
Yeah, they do.
don't.
You can't order it online here.
I like their cinnamon sticks.
You
Well,
have
like to
to-
Montclair.
Yeah,
You have to call.
I've ordered
to-
Domino's here before.
you have to. No, you have to call. It doesn't show up if it says like college or dorm.
Oh no, because you have to put in the address of your
Wow,
dorm
this took
for
a
that to
dramatic
work.
turn.
Oh,
They
really?
really did.
Yeah, you never put college spot because MSU is not on the map for that.
All
You
right.
have to put in the
Well,
address of your
a
building.
thing
You
about
might
Domino's
have
that they're
just
lack-
saved my life. So
A thing
I'll help
about
you with
that
that later if you
Domino's is
want to.
lacking
All right.
is the ability of the amount of boxes and amount of plastic and being that I work there. It's really rough, but there is still time to fix the climate. As we said earlier, we are nervous about this climate. There is still time. We have about how many years, Kenny?
About 11 years, Ben.
Oh, quiet. That was a good
Yikes.
transition. Get out of here.
No, that
man.
was a good transition.
Yeah, don't act like it's a minute. buddy.
Before we talk about this
Jeez.
story, we're gonna move to a quick song. This song is called Fittingly. It's about the forest. It's called Forest Green. 90.3 FM. That song was Forest Green by Wolf Parade. We're gonna move on to our next story, which is about the environment.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you picked up on that.
When I that's like when your teacher walks in, is like, today's lecture, guys, the environment. What do you think? A kid's gonna be like, yeah.
I was so happy you picked up on that. On October 31st, this Sunday, world leaders are going to descend on Glasgow, Scotland for the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP26, in a last-ditch effort to defuse the climate emergency by limiting global warming to less than 1.5 degrees Celsius. Reaching that level would still bring violent storms, deep flooding, gripping droughts, and problematic sea level rise, but it would avert even more severe consequences. Global temperature has risen by nearly 1.1 degrees Celsius since the Industrial Revolution. A clear understanding of how these emissions affect temperature shows that there is still time to reach the political agreements, economic transformations, and public buy-in needed to sharply cut emissions. You may ask, how much time do we have? Well, do you want to take a guess, everybody? And don't actually read it. If you did read it, don't guess.
20 minutes.
11.
What do you-
7. 14.
36.
Hey, Ben, what color do you want?
W.
30 seconds.
Ben, what color do you want?
What do I
Blue.
want?
What color do you want?
7.
All right, good answer. No one else gets that.
Yeah.
11 years is what we have. The good news is that if nations can cut emissions substantially and quickly, the warming can be held to less. Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah.
That was an ad on another website. It really confused me. The good news is that if nations can cut emissions substantially, warming can be held to less than 1.5 degrees. Sorry, Ben, please take a while off.
Wait, what's happening? I wasn't right. I was playing tic-tac-toe. I'm not even kidding. I'm up 1-0.
Only on the Thursday buzz.
All right. Yeah.
Are you winning, son?
Yeah, I actually am. Kenny, what a failure of a show, man.
Every Thursday,
But scientists
7 to 9
discovered this
a.m.
idea about a decade ago. Climate models consistently show that committed, baked-in warming does not happen as soon as CO2 emissions stop rising the atmospheric concentration. Are you okay there, buddy?
It's the funniest thing ever.
Concentration of CO2 levels. I'm reading, man. The levels off and starts to slowly fall because the oceans, soil, and vegetation keep absorbing CO2 as they always do. Temperature doesn't rise further. It always doesn't drop, but atmospheric and ocean interactions adjust and balance out. The net effect is that, quote, temperature does not go up or down, quote, says, oh my gosh, Georgi Rogelij. I'm so sorry, Mr.
Don't.
No.
Jory. That's so many letters.
Well, like we said before, the good news is that if nations can cut this, the warming can be held to less than 1.5 degrees Celsius.
This Jory guy has person has officially the ability to call me Bean, just because of how bad I pronounce the name. like my name's easy to pronounce, so if I mess your name up, you have every right to call me Bean.
Has anybody called you Bean before?
Yeah, Jared. All the time. This our music director, Jared, our assistant music director, Jared.
Music librarian.
Whatever. You get the point.
I love correcting you.
But what kind of bean?
Okay, we don't care.
I was just curious.
Quiet. We
got to keep on what we're talking about, Lara. It's nice
Sorry.
we've never gone off track before. My mom was a very nice lady. But I want to ask you all of you a question about the climate. I've noticed a pattern where mainly people our age are the not only ones, but we care more than other generations. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's like our future, not theirs.
Okay.
They were the ones who are gonna have to live through it.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
See, I think I agree, but I wonder to a certain point because there's always that thing where there are the older generations where you guys are just complaining, you guys are just whining over whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder to a certain degree how much that is affecting the mindset of climate change and what we have to do to fix it, right?
Probably is, because I feel like some of those people have the power to do something about it, but some people who do have that power are not going to do anything.
Yeah, and it's similar to how I feel like we see many politicians. We always look at them like, oh, they're just doing this for publicity, kind of like Lori Loughlin with her college students thing. And that's a theory, by the way. And I feel like many of us see their caring for things such as climate change and other social issues as a publicity stunt, again, just to get votes, right? Is that just me?
It depends, I think.
Depends. Okay, what's it depend upon?
Wow. It actually depends if the person actually cares about climate change, and we're never going to know that. We never know if it's going to be just for the votes or if they actually truly deeply care about our climate. Yes.
Yeah. And like you said, there really is no way to know that. Some people do seem more authentic than others, and I have my own personal opinions about who is authentic, and more importantly, who is not authentic. But it's something that we do need to unite about and get back.
And plus, like, we're talking about it, so that is definitely the first step towards doing something about it. And that's important. Just talking about it and having that conversation.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Tanner, yes, your name is Tanner. Sorry, I apologize. Tanner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, agreeing with like what everyone said. I think if there was more, like, if people in office were like around our age or younger, there might be a lot more like, this is actually an issue. But I think now it's most of the people in office, like, they might not be around when, if this is like if like it reaches its peak or whenever that is, like, they're probably not going to be around, so they don't really care about it. And it's a little upsetting that they're just like, well, this isn't my problem. Okay, I don't know.
It's like what Ben said before about asking people to care about something other than themselves.
It's hard. It'll be hard for that to happen.
Yes,
I think I think people are gonna start realizing it when it's too late. That's when people are gonna be like, oh wait, this is actually an issue, and then it'll be too late, and then
it's a shame because we could have done something.
Yeah, that's how a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's how a lot of things have been. So
very well said. We're gonna move on to our next story. This one is about a study that was done and reported on by newscientist.com, where they say a specific antidepressant reduces a risk of a long hospital stay due to COVID. People diagnosed with COVID-19 are less likely to need prolonged hospitalization if they are treated with the antidepressant fluvoxamine, which goes under the brand name of Luvox. Beginning in January 2021, the trial included nearly 1,500 unvaccinated adults in Brazil who had tested positive for COVID and had symptoms with at least one criterion putting them at a risk of severe disease. They are randomly assigned to either receive fluvoxamine twice daily for 10 days or a placebo. In the fluvoxamine group, 10.6% had to stay for more than 6 hours in an emergency setting or they were admitted to in hospital. Compared with 15.7% of the placebo group, there was only 1 death in the fluvoxamine group and 12 in the placebo group. Before we unpack this and talk about what we think, can I ask a question to you all?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I guess you're the only one that's going to answer.
Oh, please tell us, Kenny.
Yeah, anytime, Ben. If it's a serious sickness and illness, something that they are specifically testing if they have a severe problem, why are they going to do a trial on them? Why aren't they going to just give them the best treatment?
Because science, bro.
I was just going to say because numbers.
Right? Is that just me that has a problem with that?
Seems
science,
a little
bro.
odd. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, antidepressant this one at least, may help treatment against COVID. What?
Interesting. I'll never know how medicine works. It's very interesting to me. But the fact that it could be used but it's a factor that could prevent extreme COVID. Just how? How does that work? That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what the scientists are for.
That's
but even
true.
then,
Why does it
how do
work?
they come up with this idea for a study? Right?
Well, maybe because the pandemic and mental health have been a factor in the past. How many years? Not how many years. A year and a half. Maybe they just made a connection, said, what if we do this? And they did it.
That's a good way to think about this. Yeah, probably. Huh, that's very interesting.
Right?
Marty, you've been a little bit quiet. What do you think?
I kind of agree with Laura. Like, they probably noticed the trend. They're like, you know what? Mental health has been on an all-time high, but then we noticed that our patients maybe, they happen to be on this specific drug and they happen to get better in a way. Maybe that's how they found out about that.
I wonder if this helps. This is just a personal theory. I wonder if you are already on an antidepressant, if it helps keep away COVID. That's obviously a guess and something I would have to look into. But I wonder if that's true. Makes you wonder the effects of other medicines you're taking. Maybe you don't even know it. I remember there was early on in the pandemic, there was the symptom called COVID toes. Any of you remember that?
What?
Yeah.
Sort of.
COVID toes. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's something about the toes were off. Madi, you said you heard about it. Do you know what it was?
I think it was the discoloration of the toes, like they turned a
That's what I
different
thought.
color or something like that. I think that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Isn't that insane though? Because there's so many things that Ben was talking about this before. There's so much that we don't know.
Bro, there's so much we don't know, man.
There's so much we don't know, and that's the point where you start realizing the future, what we don't know. Because if you are caught up in my personal opinion, if you're caught up in what you think you do know and you think that you know everything, you're gonna be stuck in the old ways of thinking and not looking forward, as opposed to right now where while this was an experimental trial, and I don't understand why they would do it if it was a severe circumstance, they are looking for other treatments to things that are serious and can kill people and have killed people. We're going to move on to something that does need to have a lot more research done of itself. This PSA is about Alzheimer's awareness.
Because if this is one of those that they're like really like, that's creepy. That's like to the borderline, like this is ridiculous. But like if it's just like they're being like dumb, then that's just like, that's just weird. But like if it could be psycho, it could be some psycho stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I go look at the images and tell me, is it like a psycho situation, or is it just like they're just a weird group of kids? There's some weird cats.
It's got to be, I think, a mix of both. We'll talk more about this story briefly. We're going to move on to an interview with Dr. Stephanie Silvera. You okay, Ben?
What a weird transition.
Right?
Fair enough. Yeah, wasn't my best transition. Well, welcome to the show, Dr. Silvera.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Let's let the holidays begin. Halloween is this upcoming Sunday, the 31st. During this spooky time, it's important to stay safe, especially during these times.
Yes.
Our very own MSU public health professor, one of the many at this school, Dr. Stephanie Silvera, is with us. Thank you for coming out to the show, Dr. Silvera. So can you tell us about, just chief among things, this is the first thing we're getting out of the way, the importance of staying safe during a COVID Halloween?
Yeah, so last year we saw an increase in COVID cases after pretty much every major holiday, starting with Halloween. So Halloween was the first bump. 2 weeks later, cases increased. Same thing after Thanksgiving, any of the other fall and winter holidays. So most people now, at least in this state and on campus, are vaccinated. That's going to help. But we do know breakthrough cases can occur, and we want to try to keep everyone as safe as possible. So it's Halloween. It's time to dress up, wear a costume, incorporate a mask into your costume, right? Like, I don't know, everybody go with Squid Game, cover your face. It's fine. You can do it.
That's a good idea. So how can we...
Are you telling us we can beat Squid Game too?
Look, I'm not trying to play that game. I'm going to be honest. I'll just stay here and earn my money the old-fashioned way and not risk getting shot in the head.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to see if you believed in it, because I'm not even surviving the red light, green light. I'm just telling you. So I'd fall over the tiniest rock, but I just want to say, so over the holidays, there's been an increase of COVID cases. You said, what do you think that's due to? Do you think it's the families meeting each other? Do you think it's the fact that people are not wearing their mask when they're around their families? What do you think is the cause of that primarily?
So I think it's, especially in between fall and then that early spring when things are cold, we're gathering and we're indoors. So that's a higher risk environment. And then you have people who are, you're getting together. You're going to go to a party, you're eating and you're drinking, you're not keeping masks on. And if you're drinking alcohol, your, ability, believe it or not, to make good decisions decreases. And all of a sudden that mask stays off and you are coming into contact with other people's respiratory droplets. And that sounds terrible because it kind of is, and it's a little bit gross, but that's what you want to avoid, right? We don't want to be breathing all over each other.
Yeah, and
I don't think I want anyone breathing over each other, regardless of the coronavirus.
Yeah, look, look, wearing the mask, and I know not everybody, it can be frustrating. I get it, but it not only prevents you from getting COVID, but it also prevents the flu. And the expectation is this is going to be a very bad flu season. And so, forget about, if we want to even put COVID aside, there are still other respiratory illnesses that you can catch, cold, flu. We want to avoid those as well. We want to keep people healthy. So keep the masks on is, I think, the first line of defense. And if you aren't vaccinated, please go get a vaccine.
Yeah, I completely agree. And something that I'm sure many parents have on their mind is they want to give their kids good memories. They want to have them be able to look back on this fondly and not like they were restricted from doing anything. As a public health expert, what do you think some of the steps are to keep health a priority while also giving the parents and the children the chance to make memories?
Right. So we want to balance all aspects of our health, and that includes our physical health and our mental health, right? And so you're at college, you're here to have not only the academic experience, but the social experience. So how can you keep it safe? Be really mindful of who you're socializing with. Um, Personally, I try to socialize with other people who I know have been cautious in other environments, who are vaccinated, who I know have been wearing their masks. Maybe keep the gatherings smaller than you would have, right? A big going to a rave or something like that is not. This is not the best time. So try to create those healthy environments where you are socializing in a way that reduces the risk of transmission. We can't eliminate it, but balance out the risk, and then also think, okay, I want to go out with my friends and party on Halloween. Totally understand. But less than a month later, we have Thanksgiving. And if you want to go home and you might have somebody who is older or has pre-existing conditions or is immunocompromised, what you don't want to do is get sick and then bring it home to grandma and grandpa.
How do we have a safe holiday if this is a holiday that's based around going to other people's houses?
I would say if you can have, hopefully the weather holds up, try to gather outdoors, right? Go to a lot of restaurants or spaces now have outdoor spaces to gather under a tent, bundle up, get a costume that you can be warm. And again, continue to wear the mask as much as you can to create a physical environment that's less risky.
Yeah, well, it's very risky for Halloween to be going around to other houses and all of that. It helps that we do have to dress up because it
Right.
does have that physical resistance. For the other holidays later in the year, what kind of threats do those pose?
So if we're thinking about something like Thanksgiving, right, and that's gathering with family, and I think right now, what 92 or 93% of our students are vaccinated. So I'm less worried this year about you bringing COVID home to your family members. But if you're
Thank
gathering with
you.
people, I think you guys have done a good job. We're doing a good job here, right? Our numbers have stayed low. I'm really proud of how well we have done on campus and keeping the campus safe. And so now we want to make sure you're going back to an environment where you're also going to be gathering with family members who are cautious because we don't want you to get sick and then bring it back to campus. Because I don't think any of us want to go back to fully virtual learning, right? We want to be able to be in the classroom. So I think when we talk about going home for the holidays, have the conversations with your families. I don't know, like if you've got some people who refuse to be vaccinated and aren't wearing their masks and are going to work, maybe you keep Thanksgiving a little tighter, right? You don't have 50 people over. We can go back to having something closer to 2019 big gatherings, but we're not quite there yet. And so, we have to think about the importance of keeping our MSU family and our MSU community safe. And so, that's a conversation you may all need to have with your families as you go home.
Yeah, you mentioned before that there are people, and we see this in the news all the time, that there are people who denounce masks and vaccines and everything that is supposed to protect us. How does their opposition? How does their opposition to what is scientifically accurate affect a holiday based around people gathering?
Right. So again, if they're not getting vaccinated and not wearing a mask, they are susceptible to the virus, right? They are potentially coming in contact with people who are sick. They may be asymptomatic carriers of the virus, and they can spread that. And the vaccines are highly, highly effective. The Pfizer and Moderna are 95 plus protective against severe illness, but they're not 100%. Nothing in this world is, right? Including vaccines, including parachutes, right? They have a fail rate too, but we still wear them when we jump out of a plane. But I don't want to get even mild COVID, right? Because even mild COVID is much, much worse than a typical cold. And even mild COVID will keep you out of class for 10 days at least. And the problem is with younger people in particular, we are not able to really well predict who is going to have severe COVID. So this idea that you're young and healthy and I'm going to be fine is not necessarily true either. And so one of the issues I think we have in this country is we think of everything on a very individual basis. And this is a public health, this is a community health problem. And so our actions impact other people because we are all breathing each other's air. We are in each other's spaces. And so if you go home and you get sick and you come back to campus and you don't know that you have been exposed, right, that can shut down an entire class for 10 days. And I don't think we want that. And I think one of the things that might be a good idea is if you go home for the holidays, maybe on the Sunday that you come back or right before you come back, go grab a rapid test, right? They're not 100%, but it'll give you a better sense of your safety coming back to campus as well.
Yeah, we all need to stay safe. And the last thing that we all want is to be in another outbreak, another spike in cases. Thank you, Dr. Silvera, for coming on and joining us. We really appreciate it. And now, thanks to you, we know how to do Halloween.
We appreciate it. We can't words today. I'm so sorry.
Is that not what I said?
No, you said like I don't even know that wasn't even English, man. Like, but no, thank you so much,
Yes.
Doctor. And we hope we could see you very shortly. And we hope that at that point we have learned to look beyond our own nose and think of as my age group, we will work on looking beyond our own nose and staying safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And now we know how to have a safe Halloween, thanks to you. We're going to jump to a quick break. We'll be right back in just a minute with some more weird news.
This recent, stripper dance party at the high school has led to an argument that does nothing to do with the story. First of all, thank you all for being so supportive. Second of all, no. So it's apparently we've been told that it's the athletic department that was kind of like not behind it, but like behind it.
That's a little sus.
So yeah, here's the thing. Sports department doesn't always look good in these situations, but
Clearly.
yeah, yeah. But would you want your kid to be an athlete? If like this is a whole different, like nothing to do with the story here.
If it made my kid happy and they weren't being a bad person, then yes.
Yeah.
Would you want your kid to at least try a sport?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not football.
Not football?
Concussions and stuff.
There's a lot more.
I play
kids.
football. Look, I'm fine.
Then you show up 10 minutes late.
There's something about like
I forgot.
there's something about like they have like kids who are like 10 years old, like full head-on collisions, like
Oh yeah.
they're in the end, like they're playing.
Oh no, I'm aware.
It's
in the
When I
brutal.
was 10, I had full-on head-on collisions.
Yeah, I don't.
Oof.
Yeah, that might be the only.
Oh, that kid
Unless-
got rocked to the ground.
Unless my kid says I want to be the kicker or the punter.
No, just don't make him a
Long
lineman.
snapper.
True.
Your head's fine if like you
Football.
don't play lineman.
Football's
True.
brutal out
Actually,
here.
honestly, if you don't have your kid play linebacker or running back, and honestly, your kid will be fine.
True. Yeah.
Because offensive linemen actually falls. Yeah, linemen don't hit each other in the head that often. Linemen are the most hurt, like on their stomach and their arms because
Yeah.
they've been pushing each other for like the last 3 hours. But they're pushing, and they don't really sub most, so they're just pushing each other for 3 hours. So like that's not that bad. It's usually linebackers and running backs that take
Yeah.
the most head pain because they literally full on run at each other.
It could always still happen though. There's
Could-
always a
well,
possibility.
It could honestly happen in any sport you play, and it could honestly happen while you're
Exactly.
on stage.
Oh,
on a
100%.
theater, or just don't go outside if you don't if you don't want a concussion. Like I played football for what 7, 8, 9 years. I don't remember. I played for a bunch of years, and I forgot. But the only concussion I ever had was when I slipped on the ice outside in Maine.
I mean, I've had like relatives, like people they know, their kids like died playing football.
Like that or bad time
They
for that joke.
they died playing
Tell me no.
Wow.
The kid
Really?
got
What
hit,
happened?
fell
Wow.
down and just like
Jeez.
I don't know what, he just died on it, like
Okay.
hit the floor.
Sad.
Wow.
I have a friend who did cheer for all 4 years of her high school, and she got 4 concussions doing stunting and
Oh,
tumbling.
cheer is worse than football when it comes to
Exactly.
injuries. I
That's
hear.
true.
I did cheer for 3 years, and I had a flyer fall on me, like right on top of me while
You
I
weren't
was
a flyer?
no.
Yeah,
You're
no, bro,
tiny.
you're a flyer.
You're
Oh
tiny.
my Lanta, you were the person that held a person up.
Ben, I was a front spot and a base once in a while. I
Oh.
held people.
Oh man,
What?
Yeah,
You're tiny.
yeah, you're.
that's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
no, I'm telling you right now.
Were you cheering with kids?
People my age.
I've watched cheerleading because there's sometimes where I'm bored of a game and I'm like, what do they do? I'm like, dude, some games got real boring. So like,
cheerleading is very interesting.
I
Sometimes.
have
It's
never
not
been
easy.
more like, ow, watching them jump down and you catching the flyer. That has got to be the most trustworthy thing
It
for
is.
the
My
flyer.
sister's a
Oh,
flyer.
100%.
She's
Because
terrified of
you
it.
must fall to your death if you miss.
Speaking of oh, sorry.
My sister, she cheers for her high school, and she is a flyer as well. And at her high school, this was just a couple weeks ago, they had a flyer who was dropped during the jump, and she had to be flown out of there through a helicopter.
Oh my
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, they had my sister doing the exact same jump with the exact same people.
Stop.
I've once
I would just quit
I
if that was me.
I was friends once with a flyer, and one time I was hanging out with the flyer, and yeah, after an injury, that was a rough day to be associated with that person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. They looked like they were just like they're like, and they might as well have been in a hospital bed. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm never trusting them again. like what Laura has one off day, one like that poor lady would have a broken hip.
Yeah.
Or I will if she falls on me.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
If you break the fall, you're breaking your bones.
I've broken the fall many times too.
Oh,
I remember
Jesus.
when I was at cheer camp my senior year, one of our flyers, it wasn't my stunt group, but she fell right on her back and was out for the entire season.
yeah.
She's thankfully okay now, but it's so scary.
I watch it and I'm like, I'd rather get hit by this 300-pound man in front of me. I'll look to my right and I'll be like, oh man, that looks worse. Like, I'll just be like, I'm good. That's how terrifying it looks. I am actually speaking genuinely. It looks terrifying.
I'd rather get hit by a football player than
No, you
fall
wouldn't. I'm sorry.
No, I would.
Depends.
Then
depends
fall?
From a flying.
Depends
stunt.
on the
depends who.
player. Depends on
If
yeah.
Aaron,
obviously,
Donald,
if
if
it's
Aaron
not like if
Donald's
it's-
running at me,
Exactly.
I'm a flyer. I'm a
If Aaron
flyer. If
Donald's
Aaron
running
Donald's
at
running
me,
me, I'm a
if
flyer.
Aaron Donald's
I mean,
running
if
at me,
it's
I would
high
rather
school.
fall 20 feet than have him like charge.
Oh
me
no,
back.
yeah.
I mean, if I was in
I
high
would
school, it was a
pop-
high school football
Aaron Donald's
player.
on the other side of the field. I just take knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like,
I
we're
would
doing QB kneel every play.
No, not defensive player of the year. More of a high school player.
Oh, of a high school
situation.
player?
Yeah.
Depends, because some of them are NFL players to be.
And then
We're
some
in
of them
Jersey.
are
Probably not-
freshmen.
Well, you played my high school. That's not true for my high school.
No, your high school is not that good.
No.
No,
we're
but your high
awful.
school better
Yeah,
than
my
us.
high
And
school.
some like 50-50. Like some of us, we were better than you. But I there was one time where I didn't play this one, but I remember we were standing, we were looking at the other side of the field, and little did we know that like half of them would go to like D1 and D2 schools.
Mm.
We lost like 35-0.
What was the school?
Red Bank Catholic.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
They're the most terrifying. Their quarterback, walk up to him and look at him. He has like 7 tattoos. I'm like 16 years old staring at this guy.
That's
He
a
has like
man.
7 tattoos. Like, how are you? I'm like, oh my, I'm like, what is this like? I'm like looking at him like, I'm in danger. I'm like, that's their quarterback. I'm like looking at him like all like my the back of my neck is crunching because I'm looking up at him so much. And
Now
I'm
you
like,
know how I feel
that's
all
their
the time.
quarterback. And then I turn and see a lineman and I just see his, and I'm like, the entire part of my body just got colder because his shadow. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That is where I would rather be a flyer, but that's not common.
No, it's not.
But like, that's yeah, I'm telling you, there's one guy.
I could one man you.
They nicknamed him Big Country, and I looked at. Has anyone heard of him?
No.
Oh my god, first of all, if your name's Big Country, you're a hick man with some power, and that guy scared me.
I looked up Big Country and I have a rock band from Scotland.
Well, he's a high school football
Scotland?
player.
oh well, I
He's-
thought he was in college.
Well, I don't know if he went to college, to be honest.
Speaking-
With you. Him, no, but Red Bank Catholic had a lot of college goers.
Speaking
Got
of
it.
schools, our next story has to do with a school dress code. So, a local satanic organization in Media, Pennsylvania,
Oh, this is fantastic.
convinced a school district in Delaware County that its dress code was discriminatory against Satanists.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Okay, all right, that's it. All right, I'm sorry.
You
If
want me to
you're
keep
sa-
going?
if you're satanic, like, come on, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
I don't even know what to say about this. one.
In high school, did you guys have like dress code?
Oh yeah, I
Like,
had to
did
wear.
you guys
did.
have like
Yeah.
uniforms? I meant.
I
All right,
No.
never mind.
I had a
It's
uniform.
I had-
the North
my-
Jersey
I had
that
uniforms, too.
No, my
Yeah.
school didn't have uniforms, but they had dress codes. and stuff.
Most
My
most
school
military-
had uniforms. It
Man,
was the worst.
Oh yeah, same.
So wait, the
That's
uniforms
why my
are
hair's
not
purple.
the what?
I never got uniforms.
Khakis and polo.
Who,
I never
I
did.
don't care about
Every
school
day.
uniforms. I don't
Khakis
care.
and
Like,
polo.
if you want school
Mhm.
unis, you can have school unis. That's all well and
I
good.
always thought it looked weird.
Oh,
No.
it feels weird too.
But how
Having
There's
everyone
such a-
in the
it's a very
same
is
exact
offensive
thing.
to Satanists? I didn't know Satan was such a one for fashion.
Well, the website says, quote, "We do not promote a belief in personal Satan. To embrace the name Satan is to embrace rational inquiry removed from supernaturalism and archaic tradition-based superstitions. Satanists should actively work to hone critical thinking and exercise reasonable agnosticism in all things. Our beliefs must be malleable to the best current scientific understandings of the material world, never the reverse."
What?
I didn't understand.
That's a lot of words for
any of that.
Okay.
basically
That was a
saying
lot
I
of words
don't
for
like
nothing.
khakis.
Okay. What they're saying, what they are promoting is they don't believe in the personal Satan, the fallen angel. I think that's
Then
what
why are you
Satan is.
called?
Satan will never be
It's,
caught in
himself.
khakis and a polo.
Then
What
why are
they
you?
do believe
You make
is in questioning authority and looking for their own answers.
so
to
you
things.
so
Critical
they just
thinking.
have the edgy religion.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're it's the quirky, not like other girls' religion.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
didn't know
so
that it
bad.
was such a travesty to like
This-
khakis.
This took about a month.
If I
is.
see one more tan khaki, oh my goodness.
Especially ripped khakis. What are
If
those?
I
What are
see a
those?
gray polo with the school logo on it, oh, I'm gonna lose it.
Ours were actually blue and white, but I'm gonna
Mine
lose.
were black, red, and gray.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand.
This took about a month of consistent emails and phone calls to the district before the superintendent sent out an announcement reading in part, quote, "Although we have had no complaints or concerns brought forward by any student, parent, or resident, we will remove this from our current dress code information in the student handbook."
So it wasn't students. It was just like
Not
It was a
students, not
Karen. It was a
parent or
Karen.
resident.
oh
Listen, yeah,
These
we have a Karen
Karen-
Satanist out there. That's the end of the story.
You want me to give you another weird one?
Oh,
Karen's come in all shapes, sizes, and religions.
I'd like
now.
to speak to your
Karen
principal.
the
This
Karen
goes against
Satans.
my religion of Satanism, and I'm like, ooh, not okay. Anyway.
Here's our last story for the day. A Florida man, you know it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a drunk
Yeah.
Florida man, even better, tries to use a taco as his ID after his car catches fire at a Taco Bell.
That's what. Wait,
What kind
What?
of taco was it?
That is a
Was
great
it was it a
question.
real was
Right?
it a real taco?
I'll try to
Was
find
it?
out.
Do you
Wait.
crunch?
I want to know if it was. What are those ones that with the soft shell and then the hard shell in it? A crunch wrap. I wonder if it was a crunch wrap.
You seem way too excited about this.
I like-
Taco Bell is not real
give me
taco.
Crunchwrap for 500, please.
See,
or
if
chalupa.
if I was president, I would allow Taco Bell as an ID.
The
I would.
man's
If you
alcohol
go to
content.
Taco Bell,
I would not.
Okay,
I would
Well, we
never.
know we're
Taco
not
Bell
voting for
order?
you now, man.
Your Taco Bell order says a lot about you.
No, it
just
doesn't.
I know.
What
I'm
is-
just kidding.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
I was kidding.
What does the Taco Bell order say about you?
Nothing.
What if
In
you
my
like
opinion,
tacos?
just
Wait,
going
that
to
sounds
restaurants
like-
in general
like
says a lot about you.
Montclair burritos, no beans, Doritos Locos Taco, no
Like-
tomato.
It
You're-
sounds like one of those BuzzFeed
Taco Bell.
articles. What your Taco Bell order says about you, and we'll give you your
If you-
favorite color. Like what?
Like, no, it doesn't. It says nothing
Exactly.
about you. I don't like those things. Like, nah. What does me wanting beef make me have to do with my personality? I may have just been
you-
hungry.
you
Like,
wanna-
what?
You like bean burritos? You're an awful person.
Like, yeah,
You
some
being
people are like,
hungry
"You're
shows you
a
your true
big
self.
extrovert." I'm like, I was an extrovert
don't care.
before I liked Taco Bell. Like, and then it's like and then I love when it's so wrong. It's like
Mhm.
you don't like to talk a lot. You keep to yourself, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well,
well,
for the
you're
bean
wrong.
taco-
I'm like, all because I like those those buffalo wraps.
Ooh,
Like,
or those BuzzFeed quizzes that are like, order some tacos and we'll tell you what age group you're in. Like, and we'll
then I'll be
accurately
like, you're
guess your
7.
age.
I'm like,
Yeah, right. And I'm like,
false.
I don't think I'm old enough to be
I
on
just-
this website if
I
I'm
just-
7 years old.
I just looked up.
You did.
There's BuzzFeed articles.
No.
The first one is we could guess your zodiac sign from your Taco Bell order.
Stop!
Oh no.
You have to take it now.
There's what your Taco Bell.
I'm gonna
order
take
says-
it.
I'm gonna do
We
what your
have about a
Taco Bell
minute.
order says about you.
Speed run.
What did I say?
Oh wait. Oh, it's not a thing. It's just they're just telling what it is.
What's your? I'm gonna do the zodiac sign one.
Doritos Locos Taco? Outwardly
feel like-
polished and composed, but you've got your wild side. You may be modest and shy, but you also have a fierce wit and a love for sarcasm. You're always down for a night of Netflix and cozy sweats, but you're always down for a quick road trip to Vegas.
Oh my god.
My results. My
Bro,
results.
yeah, that's mean.
Yeah, I have a taco. I have a taco. That's,
I didn't know tacos made me be like, you and I fiend for some road trips.
I'm going to
Wait a
Vegas
minute, wait a
because I
minute.
yeah.
have
Taco Bell is not real tacos. I'm just gonna say that.
Fair.
Taco
I'm
Bell.
just gonna
Also,
put that
We
out
make
there.
you want to go on a road trip.
My
Yeah,
results
I get-
are.
I
get-
can't stand Taco Bell.
I get what?
I don't like Taco Bell.
All
That's
right.
fair.
This is a debate for another day, but
As
We're
much
talking
as
about
I'm
Buzz
offended by the
Tanner.
place-
Tanner.
What?
Lottie is Mexican. She knows tacos much better than you do.
yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
Get
Yeah.
out, Kenny.
She has told me this.
Get out, Kenny.
What do you even mean?
Boo!
How is that a
Kenny,
boo?
boo!
Kenny's on my side.
According,
That's the way you're gonna end it, Kenny? Man, and I thought I was being a bit of a scumbag.
actually, according to BuzzFeed, my zodiac sign from my Taco Bell order is Cancer. I'm not a Cancer.
Eh.
That
Try
is
again.
not. That is not correct.
That's going to wrap it up for the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC from Montclair. This has been a very disorganized 2 hours. If there's one thing I
It
want you
wasn't
to,
my fault.
if there's one thing I want you to take away from today's show, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Tonight.